we're gonna hop into the draft now and see what supports Burden can possibly do to alter the path that they are on right now of an
Right.
0-3 sweep.
So I will say things to keep in mind here. We have to remember the fact that more than likely supports burden are going to be playing picks that they want to play around, given that they don't have any first rotation bans. So Clockwork's going to be looking to counter that at any given point here in this first phase. So I think Supportsburn gotta find a way around that, not to draft a comp where they play some of their one tricks, because at that point, Clockwork already knows what you're playing into. That's why game two went as wrong as it did. We need to see an actual composition come out. Last time, Burden didn't really feel like they had an oppressive win con to play around. Yes, they had scaling on their side, but that scaling didn't mesh well into each other, especially when you realize the fact that they were losing a lot of major lane to lane matchups. Now, we do miss a ban there. We're going to have
Yeah.
to get confirmation on what that actually was. I don't know quite if that was a glitch or a bit of a miss.
Yeah, they do already though change up their draft strategy once again to take away something that they didn't like in the previous game. They did this in game two when they had a difficult time with the Malphite and they had a difficult time with the Tristana. Now they take away LeBlanc and it looks just like a missed ban so far. No notification yet as to what that champion was. They are on their third ban now, and
Wow.
it supports
Apparently, it was
burden
just
is
a
just
miss.
yeah, they're just all out of sorts right now. They don't know what they want to take away. They have no idea about the strategy they want to employ. Um, man, they need an identity and they need to find one fast.
Well, they play off of the last game, which is I mean, I get where they're coming from. They don't find success into game two and they want to pull away some of those stronger picks, but that's exactly what they roped themselves into that second time around. So this time, Rebens, Poppy, of course, Booty Bang and Billy with the LeBlanc as well. Both of those have been pulled away here from Clockwork, but you still leave open a massive pool that's available. And now Clockwork's John Anderson is back on that rumble that looked so well in game one.
Yeah, Mr. Cooper over here, taking that first big rumble, all three games on the blue side. We've seen the rumble first picked. It is very strong. I do like this retaliation from Supports Burden to take up Tristana. They gave that away to Forgotten Turtle, who just completely obliterated the bot lane in game one. Now I want to see something. Ooh, they picked
Wow.
Seraphine away, but the Thresh is
So
so good
early.
on Dory K that I'm a little bit nervous to play the Seraphine again.
Right. It did not look strong in the first game. Cape lined up every hook with a
Hmm.
magnificent precision. And honestly, not even just that, his commanding presence in terms of constantly getting those engages off with the Thresh really set these lanes up for success. So the fact that it's picked out again, no surprise there. I'm curious what they line up into the bot lane paired with it. Last time around in the last draft, we saw the Senna playing in here. And then the first time we had the Tristana. You have other major picks still available, but it looks like could go Misfortune, could go Ash. Mm.
Either one
Oh,
is so
Misfortune.
good.
Yeah, I was gonna say both those are very nice into this.
And the other reason why I hate that Seraphine pick, knowing that Thresh is coming, is you already took the Tristana away, but Thresh is so good into Tristana. It's one of the few champions that can actually mitigate Tristana's rocket jump buffer, right? So she can
Right.
try to buffer away, but the Flay is just so easy to pull her out of that jump that she has a tough time into
Ooh.
Thresh lanes. It's going to be an Udyr pickup into the Rumble, another farm fest, just power farming junglers looking to scale up in the mid game here for supports burden.
Right. And I like this kind of take a little bit better than compared to game one. They had the Nocturne, which while it did have global presence, it definitely fell off into the face of some of the more aggressive tendencies. Udyr, I feel like, has a more all-encompassing role. Granted, it doesn't have that global ultimate ability and paranoia.
Hmm.
But at the end of the day, I think if it can stem the lead into some of these lanes at a much more accelerated pace, maybe Burden finds their way into this, gets their lanes to a stronger advantage, because Clockwork at the end of the day still plays to their win con of getting some of these semi-solo lanes ahead and then transforming that into a mid to late game carry. Burden needs to tempo that in some way, and having the Udyr, my apologies, be able to kind of shadow or maintain that might be a good response here from Burden.
Now, I think Clockwork are getting a little bit cocky by not banning the Riven in the second rotation. They feel very strong right now because they were able to take it out in game two. but they're gonna leave top counter pick available for R5. They also get the Syndra pick, who is another OTP. They're feeling comfortable with that blind. And I do want to note one thing that we did miss prior is that NBK has subbed in for Cook in the 80 carry role this game. So we have NBK and Tristana in the 80 carry role, and we might get a treat. The Diana that's been banned all night is going to go over to Mr. Booty Bangin' Billy.
Oh, it has been banned through and through. This goes back to some of those assassin predicated carries on the AP bursts that we like to see out of Booty Bang and Billy. Notably, the LeBlanc was taken out. And even if the Diana was as well, he still has major picks like the Silas that he also likes to play. So, once
Mhm.
again, no surprise seeing that one locked in here.
Yeah, I am questioning the fizz bans. Billy did pick it into Lotus White once last week, but it wasn't so great. The Volibear instead is going to be shown
Oh, wow.
top lane, and I think this is fine for Kush Marbles to pick Riven into. He probably feels much more comfortable into the Volibear than the Poppy. Um, he might run it back and say, "Hey, this is my main. This is my OTP. Let me show what I really can do, and show this Volibear what's up."
I was gonna say it didn't look too poor. It definitely stemmed from a terrible start, and
Hmm.
as a result, when he tried to go for some of those heavy, more deep plays, didn't work out. But I like the Urgot. I think that can manage the flow of Volibear even better than the Riven. I think Urgot's in a wonderful place right now for the top lane. And while I don't think there's going to be much pressure applied past that 6 mark, because given Volibear just becomes an absolute monster as well to kind of take down. Urgot doesn't quite have that damage to stem well into it. I think the Urgot is a great setup for the rest of this composition into Clockwork because it does work very well with the sustained CC that can be applied from any given number here, whether it be Seraphine, Udyr, or
Hmm.
Syndra, to then play on the burst of some of these heavy damage oriented champions. And then that can stem into a further engage for some of these team fights. So I actually like kind of the comp here from Support's Burden this time around. It feels like they have a lot more sense of direction.
Yeah, I will say this is their best draft, and if anything, this is the game that they can win. They've shown a previous history and a tendency to do this. Week one, they dropped down 2-0 and they won game three. This is my supports burden win. I'm going to call it. It's not going to be a sweep tonight for Clockwork. They've looked great so far tonight. Supports burden comes back here 1-2.
You know what, Dunzy? I'm not going to hold anything against you on this one. I
Mm-hmm.
think Clockwork is privy to a lot of subtle mistakes, and it
Mm-hmm.
is a major issue that we've seen time and time again. This comp, while it is still very strong, they have a heavy stem front with great zoning control with heavy burst damage. I think Burn has great response to that as an equal tempo. Now, a lot of this is going to rely on whether or not Burden can really sustain through the early game without bleeding too much and finding success where they need to, whether it be on that Urgot, on that Tristana. But we've shown time and time again that with a good gank, good rotation that plays through, that might be just enough for Burn to come out. Now, you did bring up earlier, which I find is going to be very interesting into the playmake of this game. MBK is subbing in. He's going to be on that Tristana here. And I'm curious if that might change the kind of play in the bot lane, because so far, Clockwork has constantly had control in the south here.
Yeah, I mean, Cook, the previous 80 carry, played Kaisa and he played Jinx. Two more scaling 80 carry champs, especially that Jinx play with a Sona paired with it. Now you have this aggressive bot lane. They can poke with Seraphine, and Tristana can all in at any moment. She has some self peel against the Diana dive, the Volibear dive. Um, she's able to eventually, with the draw bead passive, gain some range as the game progresses and safely auto attack from the uh, deep parts of the team fights. So I like that pick away for Tristana for MBK, and I'm hoping that they're able to utilize this 80 carry pick, this new player subbing in to their benefit.
Who knows? It is a sub, and maybe it's better. I can't say. We haven't been able to see MBK. It still goes back to one major thing though here for supports burn. They still have to find an identity in terms of playing around this comp as a whole. They've been playing super duper on the back foot. There's never any proactive action. Even if we look at major successes in terms of lane to lane, they're still losing the macro game. They're still dropping turrets. They're still dropping dragon after dragon, losing control of the rift. Clockwork's picking up side by side. Even when they start losing or making poor decisions, they still manage to keep shoring up their weaknesses through that kind of level.
Yeah, man, the supports burden comp, like you mentioned. I don't see ways for them to um, kind of be more dysfunctional or disjointed, I should say, in the team fights like they were in games 1 and game 2. That Annie pick kind of came out of left field, out of nowhere. It didn't work out because he was never with the team. Now with the Syndra, you're looking to layer CC from range. Scout of the Week is going to try to find picks, these picks that we've mentioned before, but there's a lot of layering going on now. Now you have an Encore to navigate these team fights. Now you have Udyr, who's really just going to be straight line beelining towards the enemy team, right? And Urgot, who's going to be wanting to move forward with his AoE guns on those crab legs. I can't remember what the Urgot spells are called, but
Shotgun knees? No.
yeah, the shotgun
That's not
knees.
quite
That's
the
right.
name, but you know what? That's all you need to know.
Yeah, so I mean, there's a lot more to work with, I think, for supports burden. A lot less to think about compositionally as far as like things that need to go perfectly on top of each other.
Right.
So I like the adjustment.
I think there's some ease of access, and if that's anything, that's exactly what Burden needs right now. I think tonight's been a rough one for them, trying to figure out who they play through, what their win conditions might be. It definitely feels like it's almost a solo queue game watching some of these drafts play out for them.
Hmm. Um, it's I'm gonna throw it up once again, right?
Okay,
You have Revan Storm
I'm listening.
on a tank, just like in game 1, who is going to have to, like we said, that's his key to the win in the game. Keep Kush contained. I think this is the game where Kush breaks out, right? He had a 15-3 win or loss, I should say, in week 1 on Wukong. He had a 10-3 loss on Urgot last week. He won those, or he lost those games despite popping off. Finally, Kush is going to pop off once again. He's been disappointing tonight, I will say that. He came in with a massive KDA. He hasn't been able to do well. Maybe he had a slow start. I like this pick for him, man. He showed up pretty well last week on Argot. Keeping Kush contained is no longer an option for CB Clockwork. I think he breaks out.
Well, if you're going to pick someone to watch, I'll do it myself as well. We haven't gotten to see the Diana personally, and I'm very interested to see if it's just as strong as the LeBlanc was in game 2 here for Booty Banging Billy. Great name as always. But
Mm-hmm.
either way, we've discussed as much as I can definitely muster here on the AD. We're going to be taking it to a short break as we make our way towards the Rift. When we come back, it'll actually be Mr. Shells and Hickory joining you for the cast. Stick around and stay tuned for our final game of the night.
Welcome, welcome, welcome. It is game number 3 of the evening. CB Clockwork is up 2-0 against Supports Bird, and I feel like there's a pretty comfortable draft for both teams here. My name is Hickory, joined again by Shellatron for the final game of the night. How you feeling about the final prospects for Supports picking up and not getting getting swept?
I think they have a better chance here of not getting swept. We'll have to see how they're feeling right now with this 5-man play coming through from CB Clockwork. They do get spotted out. Ooh, Dory K trying to get his numbers up on that Destinance once more. Pretty ambitious, but doesn't find anything. I'm a little bit concerned though because CB Clockwork was found out on that invade, but no one from Sports Burden made a move to get a deep ward placed on this blue just yet. Kush Marble sitting here around this pixel bush, but no wards placed down as a counter is a lost opportunity in my opinion.
Yeah, I agree. The Pixel Pixel Ward went down as per usual from Tree Trunks. Then he switches to the sweeper. But Kushmar was ready. They could see, that Anderson Cooper would be on the blue buff here and potentially looking for a pretty early gank in the bot lane. But right now, they're just going to have to kind of figure things out and see where it goes. They will have a ward on them themselves. Is Tree Trunks, MBK, and Just Chat. MBK is going the really dangerous way. Oh, I can't believe it. Go to the bot lane. Dory K hits this death sentence, and it probably is when it leads to flash. MBK, welcome to this game. How's it feel to be a sub?
Yeah, that's a very, very nice way to welcome a new player to the series. You say, Dory K, can you press your Q button real quick as he walks straight into us? Dory says, yeah, I'm gonna make him flash too. And there it is right there. NBK without a flash. And guess what? Guess what direction Anderson Cooper is pathing in this game?
He's looking bot absolutely. Very happy to see Cinder in the mid lane though. I think it's been a bit of a sore subject, this kind of lack of control, no pun intended.
I hope it hit.
I think it might have hit.
I think it did too. Sorry, continue your point.
No, I like it. I'm just saying that I'm glad that Arachnol's on a bit more of a comfortable. I think the AD actually called it a bit of a main pick. I'm not entirely certain. I'll take their word for it, but comfort nonetheless. Feels comfortable. Every mid laner worth their salt can play Syndra, and we'll get a little bit of a trade there. Buddha Bang and Billy still kind of waiting for Anderson Cooper. That's a little rough. I mean, did they also mention that Diana was feel good for Booty Bang and Billy?
Yeah, you might have comfort on Retinal with this Syndra, but Booty Bang and Billy he's shown he's comfortable on just about any champ he picks. But yes, on this Diana, he's feeling very good too.
Yeah. Tree Trunks is a little bit out of range. I think we're fine.
Yeah, the bear slap not gonna come through here. Does show himself on the wave and completely ignores that top side Scuttle Crab to come take this bot side one. But with the push in CB Clockwork's favor, he may find himself, he's gonna find himself getting pushed away from that Scuttle out of the river, and he just wasted quite a bit of time here.
Yeah, CB Clockwork working with their jungler. That's really been the meta all season, is kind of getting prio and just kind of giving up everything for whatever jungle you have. This time, of course, it is a Volibear. Still pretty strong. I actually might have liked to have seen Revenstorm on the Volibear a little bit more. That's just me personally. I've been feeling the jungle for Anderson Cooper here, excuse me. But he is going to get a double Scuttle, which is a pretty big start here for Anderson Cooper.
Oh, pretty big is underselling. This is an amazing start here for Anderson Cooper on this Volibear, going up against an Udyr who, hold up.
Yeah, Forgotten Turtle has no mana here, so a little bit aggressive. Intensely trading, perhaps maybe looking for a bit of a recall here with nearly doubling his CS already in 4 minutes. And of course, that get cleaned out pretty quickly, but cleaned out might be Revenstorm. Tree Trunks has his flash. Oh, he's not going to commit it though, and Revenstorm will just give up his flash and walk out mostly free.
Yeah, just walk out of there, but he's going to come back. He's going to bend the corner. Tree Trunks.
Oh, he's in trouble now. He doesn't even have the equalizer. It should be a pretty easy pickup here. Both flashes for Tree Trunks and Kushmar. Was the TP way behind? Here comes Anderson Cooper. They're turning it around. Tree Trunks gets flashed on. First blood there for Anderson Cooper, and Buddha Bang Billy in the back lane with the TP will keep everyone alive. Very well done by CB Clockwork.
I thought potentially we crush this wave and try to dive Kush Marbles, who is very low. Now he is Urgot, but 3v1, he stands no chance. But you just go ahead. You see this wave crash in your mid lane. Diana, Booty Banging Billy says, let me go ahead and catch this wave real quick. And the second one coming right into me here. Go back with some gold and potentially make a move to get onto this dragon. But with the bot side of CB Clockwork going ahead and resetting, there may not really be a play for this dragon just yet for CB Clockwork.
Really important to point out, Reknal tried to flash stun Booty Banging Billy on that TP. Didn't succeed, but he did use his flash. Booty Banging Billy will have his ultimate Moonfall here in probably right there. So it could be a bit of a danger point. You're talking about that Drake, and I think the control from the mid lane might be enough for it.
And the control of the mid lane isn't just Booty Banging Billy's responsibility. We have seen Dory K on this Thresh make moves that help out his mid laner very, very well. So him coming around here, maybe getting some vision, maybe trying to set up a play onto Reknal could be a very pivotal moment for the side of CB Clockwork and where this dragon's concerned. But as of right now, we're not looking at anything happening just yet.
Yeah, no one's extremely interested in this Cloud Drake. Of course, it is our first fight. That means we won't have a Cloud sold, thankfully, this game. Maybe something a little bit more aggressive. Ooh, a great stun there. Reknal might be in kill range. Ooh, MBK definitely is. He gets the jump out, and Forgotten Turtle doesn't have the damage just yet. Full control of the bot lane, though, here for the side of CB Clockwork.
Doesn't the damage, but he does have the support with the skill to just let him know and let even support's burdened bot side know. Just for had MBK, you got to be careful because Dory K is here. He is not missing death sentences. He's very aware, but
he might be dead. A good lantern there will be enough. Death sentence does land. There's a flay. Tree Trunks does not have flash. He couldn't be in danger. Reknal getting a kill in the mid lane. Maybe the Moonfall does not give him enough. Reknal picks up the kill. I thought it was guaranteed for him there, and it does look like Tree Trunks walks his way out. He did have his flash, excuse me, when he was flashed on in the top lane. He ended up not using it.
And that was a very, very close fight there between the two mid laners. I think that could have gone either way, honestly. But it does go in Reknal's favor, does get that kill, goes back to base, and is able to come back with that lost chapter, excuse me. And that's the lost chapter too, only double Dorn Ring. It looks like Booty Banging Billy is waiting on an item. Does get that Hex-like alternator, but the bot that mid lane is going to be very, very heavily contested now. Dragon is going to get started by Anderson Cooper with no contest.
Yeah, Lost Chapter starts feeling pretty good here for Reknal, but you're right, it will be a free Drake for Anderson Cooper, who's getting pretty strong. MBK actually going to start hawking his own jungle camps at this point. He's feeling so far behind, and he is 30 CS behind, so I do understand it to some extent. Reknal in an interesting position, but I think he's just trying to get some vision while more and more damage goes onto this bot lane tower. You know, Forgotten Turtle and Dory K have really just been controlling the game. MBK with the on-2, Forgotten Turtle flash out, bullet time, that's all. This is a strong bot lane, man.
This is a strong bot lane, not just because I think that Miss Fortune is one of the champs that is very, very viable right now. I think she's a good champ. Obviously not an S tier champ right now, but in the right comp with the right support, and Dory K is the right support. Look at these death sentences. Not that death sentence, but the other death sentences. You just know that you have such good kill potential with the E, with the make it rain into the bullet time, with Dory K dropping the box, and with the death sentence. There's so much this wombo here in this bot lane, and MBK and Destro Cat don't look to me like they have the synergy together, potentially.
There's the Moonfall. Anderson Cooper does not have flash, but he probably doesn't need it. Drop down onto Reknal, and that's his first death of the game. Remember, he did not have flash from that earlier play.
Look at these jungle mains stealing hard-earned kills from solo laners. This is the plight of a mid laner. You get a kill, and then your jungler comes and he takes the kill from you. He says, "Wait, I thought you wanted ganks, right? You want ganks? I came to gank. I guess I might have taken the kill, maybe, but don't worry, I'll get you back on the back end." And you get a kill onto your enemy mid laner, and this is gonna be the push. Deny the wave. You go back, and you're able to get a little bit stronger. Want to see Sort Pin here? We'll see what Booty Banging Billy does come back to wave with.
Yeah, I think he has enough gold. Oh, he's actually going for Dark Seal. Bit of a just kind of catch-all build here. Can't say I'm exactly the most happy with it. You know, there's diminishing returns from double Dorans, and it's just not as good as it used to be these days. And I'm not really certain I feel it with the Dark Seal either. Flash out from Ravenstorm, he's fine. He drops the Equalizer. Might be looking for something a bit here with Dory K. Flash, and it gives up Tree Trunks. What are you doing, Curse Marbles? And you still die. No freaking way. Forgotten Turtle goes down in the bot lane. In return, MBK picks up his first game of the series.
Yeah, Dory K comes through and gets a kill. Actually, he did steal a kill earlier in our first game. But yeah, Dory K is playing out of his mind, making plays bot, making plays mid, made a play right here in the top lane. That's everywhere on the map, and he does roam for objectives. We do not have Herald on the map right now because Anderson Cooper has already taken it away, and that's going to be extreme pressure potentially for the next dragon. It's going to come up in 2 minutes. I think any of these lanes will be a great lane to infuse a little bit of gold onto. You have 3 potential carries in Forgotten Turtle, Booty Banging Billy, and Rumble, and a Riven Storm on the Rumble. There's options galore, and each one of these members of the team are playing extraordinarily well right now, all ahead. I mean, look at the top CS. This is just crazy. Look at the gap in CS in the top lane. It is just so oppressive, and Support's Burden has a uphill battle to try to sneak 1 game away in this series.
Yeah, the desk was talking about there won't be a sweep, but I'm kind of feeling like some brooms are coming out of CB Clockwork right now. They're looking really scary in all 3 lanes. You just mentioned the CS gap in the top lane. There's also one in the bot lane, and even, I mean, still a at least even CS, a bit of a CS lead here in the mid lane, though Reknal has swapped out. And things are looking good for Booty Bang Billy despite getting killed. MBK looking for Forgotten Turtle here. I think it's a little bit overzealous, but that's 3 people in the bot lane. And, well, there's a TP from Booty Bang Billy into almost everyone. Reknal with the Moonfall on top, and Booty Bang Billy picks up his first to kill of the game. Tree Trunks trying to look for more. Equalizer on top. It's so much damage. Kush Marbles does get the death from beyond, but he's probably going to get killed in his own right. There's the second kill for Dory K. I think the encore has already been had, and Forgotten Turtle picks up his first of the game. 1 for 4 trade. TP's off the board, except for Ravenstorm, who just walked his way down.
1 for 4 trade, and now we're gonna have this Herald drop down in this bot lane. Now, hopefully someone leaves. Hopefully someone other than Anderson Cooper leaves. Nope, we're gonna share all these plates with 4 members of the team. That's fine. We're gonna get 12 gold apiece. 230 is the gold share for the team. They're probably gonna go ahead and escort this Void Crab up to tier 2. There's not gonna be much of an answer coming out of Support's Burden. Look, you're 3v1 right now. You don't want to make that move. Dory K already invading the enemy jungle, making sure that that blue buff goes to someone on his team. And this is just a masterclass already being set up by CB Clockwork.
Yeah, it feels like the same idea from the previous game where that botch dive did go. Dory K is probably going to be done here. But it felt like the same idea from the previous game where they just played a little bit slower and still got the first tower. Booty Bangin pulls the flash to the Tree Trunks. Not enough in the tank just to finish it out just yet, but he will walk out pretty comfortably. Dory K, of course, was a little bit aggressive there, but oh no, Kush Marbles, you got to know that they're there, right? And he does. He drops the ward.
And the thing about that was Dory K did die right before Dragon spawns, but CB Clockwork's so far ahead that Support's Burden, even with 5 members on the map, really can't make a move to this Dragon Pit. You do see Reknal on the top side splitting, taking this, well, doesn't get that last plate there, but was taking some plates top side. Not going to do too much, though.
Drake was already gone as Jester Hat was looking for it. An easy kill picked up there for Forgotten Turtle. And Reknal is not the person I want to see split pushing, honestly. No. I mean, if you're this far behind, you have to send a laner like Reknal or you know, MBK into split push. It would definitely be MBK I want to see in that top side of the map. Of course, in the bot lane, trying to catch things up while Kush Marbles has moved into the mid lane, kind of interestingly enough. Odd lane assignments here, just in general, with Dory K in the mid lane as well, with Booty Bang and Billy. They're looking to crack this tier 2. It's a big one, of course. They're on Kush Marbles, but not just enough.
Yeah, Kush Marbles is kind of in a rough spot right now. about 30 CS down on his enemy laner, does not have Mythic. Oh, he rushes Titanic Hydra, but still just very, very weak compared to just about every other member on the opposite side of the map here. And with Dory K literally hitting every single hook, I mean, this reminds me of my days when I was playing Modern Warfare 2 on PC. You couldn't go into a lobby without there being at least one hacker, someone wall hacking, someone having an aimbot. This man, Dory K, just has his eyes locked in on the targets. He has not missed when he presses the Q key on his keyboard, and I don't expect him to miss very much more often in this game. He's so strong and making plays for his team.
Good flash, and I thought Regnal had enough damage there, but the equalizer on top will give Anderson Cooper his 5th kill of the game. 8 kills total, 80% KP. Forgotten Turtle in a bit of a trouble spot here, but MBK will flash forward as well as the Gale Force and does pick up the shutdown. But man, this top side of the map is looking rough. 007 James Bond in the top lane here, 503 on Anderson Cooper and 122. That's enough on a Diana this far into the game. Trading out tier 1 for tier 1, not really my favorite trade, but Buddha Bang he is here to pick up the rest of the wave.
I would say that everything is working out in CB Clockwork's favor. You have all the push. Wherever Dory K walks on the map, there is a kill confirmed, and it's not going to be a kill confirmed onto him. The one thing I will say is that Forgotten Turtle is disrespecting weak side. When you see Dory K is away from Forgotten Turtle on this misfortune, you have to understand that you're in a spot where if the whole team on enemy side isn't where your team is, they're all coming to you. You can't just walk aggressively through your own jungle. You have to take the long way around, the scenic route, because there will be multiple members of the opposing team looking to gang up on you, and he has died twice to that in this game so far. But just like in game number 2, there were some missteps from CB Clockwork, but their team is so strong, their champs are so strong, their shot calling is so obnoxiously strong that I don't see them ever getting really truly punished by any real misstep that happens in this game.
Yeah, I mean, we saw it last game where they even had multiple missteps, and it still really just wasn't enough. Dory K looking for something here. He gets the flash, he gets the flay. He doesn't even probably need the death sentence as Venusaur picks up his first kill of the game. I don't think he would have got the assist anywhere else. Anderson Cooper onto Tree Trunks and MBK. That's a smackdown WWE style if I've ever seen one. And the equalizer over the top. Anderson Cooper picks up his 6th of the game.
This is CB Clockwork's substitute jungler right now. Jumps into 3 members of Support's Burden. He drops the Storm, brings the Storm onto 3 members and a fairly decently fed Tristana there, and he does not care. This is a bear who does not care, and they're making so many moves on the map, so much pressure here. Even with that Herald dying right there, it doesn't really matter. CB Clockwork have this game just in complete control right now.
Yeah, but a 6,000 gold lead here, 18 minutes in the game, which is pretty absurdly massive, well over 10% of the total gold in the game. 40-ish seconds, 40-0 now on my clock before the Infernal Drake comes up. It is an Infernal Soul and could potentially be a point here, soul point here for CB Clockwork at, I think, a faster clip than what they potentially had last game. It'd be about a 19-minute on spawn 3rd Drake, which is pretty incredible. I think it was actually about the same speed as the previous game. Of course, they did have a really strong previous game. And everyone's setting up for it. They know that this is a big objective here. Big chunk there on a Forgotten Turtle. Oh.
Dory K, uncharacteristic.
Yeah, that could have been a big death sentence. We're just kind of waiting out the clock here. Drake is up. Kush Marbles is almost here. That was just a bit of a blind. See what he can get. Anderson Cooper starting it on spawn. I don't know if supports can really bully their way in here. MBK and Tree Trunks are close. There's the death sentence. Watch the Drake, though. The smite fight does go the way of Tree Trunks, but the fight is definitely going the way of CB Clockwork. Huge damage coming out of Forgotten Turtle and Booty Banging Billy. Return kill there for Kush Marbles. Double kill there for the jungler. But the 3rd kill, another double kill. The 4th kill for Booty Banging Billy. Anderson Cooper looking for the ace here, and I think it will be a 5-for-1. Support feels pretty good to give up the support's burden.
Yeah, this has been the namesake of the opposition here. The support's burden. Dory K has been, I don't want to use the word carrying, but he has had just a disproportionate amount of effect on how his team's been doing in all 3 of these games. He has been just outperforming at all levels, at all times. The beginning of the game and lane phase, not as his lane, but a mid and top, going after objectives. I mean, securing kills, flash flays, just onto members and saving his teammates over and over again. Yes, Booty Bangin' Billy he's been very impressive. Yes, Reverend Storm on this Rumble has been very impressive. And look, Anderson Cooper is the substitute jungler for this CB Clockwork team. He's 9-0-4, already has the Kim tank and has the Sterix gauge. Going for the Nashor's Tooth third, I do love to see the hybrid tank into AP Volibear builds. I'm not a big fan of the full tank, but I mean, when you're this far ahead, 17-6 in kills, almost 10k gold at 20 minutes, hell, you can build whatever you want to. Build, I don't know, Zonias, go ahead and build maybe Bork, I don't know, Bloodthirster, whatever you want to build, Anderson Cooper, I'm sure you'll have a pretty good time using it.
Not certain Chris Marvel is going to have a very good time right now, as Forgotten Turtle and Reverend Storm have found him without a flash. Easy kill there for Forgotten Turtle. I do agree. It's feeling pretty comfortable here for the side of CB Clockwork. That being said, we said the exact same thing for about 20 minutes straight in the previous game, and of course they did end up winning nonetheless, but they felt almost as strong, if not even potentially stronger in the previous game, save for a bit of a botched dive. Now, they are going for the Baron much earlier this game, and it feels like they're kind of recognizing the mistakes of the previous game of just a little bit too passive, a little bit too slow when they're ahead.
Support burden doesn't even know. There's not even a ping on this Baron. They just don't know that it was going down there. 2 members on the bot side. We saw Tree Trunks resetting while that Baron was at like 25% health. They just had no clue that it was going down there. And Booty Bangin' Billy might find himself in a bad position, but
trouble. He's got 2 people on him. MBK a little bit far forward. The Moonfall and a great Zonias. He actually completely outplays both of them. He won't get the kill, but unbelievably well played by Booty Bangin' Billy.
Not the thumbs up saying, okay, you want to get on to me? That's exactly what I want. Use the Zonias. Now, if I hit this next one, it's going to be a problem. So they both very wisely back out of there because you do not want a Baron power play with your support and your AD carry down and not able to help defend against the push. And if you get double killed in a 2v1, you gotta just go ahead and just say your internet went out. It's not coming back on for us tonight.
Just give up. It's fine. We won't be mad.
No, don't give up. Just stretch the truth about whether or not your internet still works.
Okay. See, that's the difference between you and I guess I'll just I'll just be too honest about it. This could be a little bit rough here with their Reverend Storm in the area, but Dory K in a little bit of danger. Whoa, I don't know if he meant to hit that death sentence, but it sure was death for Recknell. I guess he just can't do any wrong. NBK in trouble here. Stormbringer on top of him. They're kind of playing with their food. Now, you know, honestly, this reminds me of my Maryville days casting Shady, where he would always pick these Threshes and these Pikes and just do these incredible things. And of course, the Maryville guys they're incredible players. They're amateur and professional players. But man, Shady would just style on kids and make the team seem like a monster into like the 2019 era. And Dory K is doing the exact same thing, where he's making his team so much greater than the sum of their parts.
Viewers, you heard it here first. Dory K getting the vote of approval from my man Hickory. The next support for the guys over at the Maryville. I look, man, seeing how he's been throwing these destinies out this whole series. Here's another one right here. I don't know. Any team would definitely be better to have Dory K on it. He is just amazing right now.
Well, that could be a problem. So is Booty Bangin'. He is on his 4th kill of the game, just styling on people. Much cleaner this game. And now, you know, I was going to kind of mention this in the previous game. When I see a team take a 10,000 gold lead in 20 minutes, the next thing that I want to see is a 25-minute Nexus. Because the absolute worst thing that I feel is this huge lead, and then this just kind of lack of coordination, lack of understanding of what comes next, and able to close out the game. And it feels like they're very, very aware of it right now. Bit of a recall here on to the 3rd Drake. That should just be theirs. I mean, double in him, and it feels kind of comfortable. Tree Trunks is beelining for it, though.
He really is. It's a taste of desperation here, but there could be a brush play being cooked up by the side of CB Clockwork, and it may come into fruition in 2, 1.
Where he is. The hook does go wide, but I think Tree Trunks probably has enough damage, at least just to run him away. I mean, at this point, Forgotten Turtle, of course, can just solo out the Drake, and that should be, unfortunately, not the soul because of a good 50-50 from Tree Trunks earlier in the game, but it will be the 3rd point, and Baron in about 230, it should be an easy clean end down top lane.
Yeah, this feels like the side of CB Clockwork not ending earlier when they probably could have. I didn't see the wave state in the top lane, but this to me smells like, look, the stats weren't looking all that great last week. We got to go ahead and pump these numbers up. I know we have a couple guys who are in the top 10 in a few stats. Kush Marbles for Supports Burden is top 10 in 3 or 4 different very important stats, including damage and gold earned. But CB Clockwork saying, let's go ahead and it's only week 2. We can go ahead and get our averages up right now. I know Storm's average is going to go up. I know Booty Bang and Billy and Dory, their numbers are going to be skyrocketing. The stomps are to the moon for a CB Clockwork. In this matchup right here, so I don't have a problem with them playing with their food as long as we win the game here. Hopefully, I don't want it to be a very long game, but go ahead and style for a little bit, but finish your business and continue to do what you're doing because there's no real answer from Sports Burden at all.
Yeah, there definitely isn't. I mean, kind of pointing back to your comment about stats, Booty Bang and Billy was not really killing it too much previous week in the stats department. Might be a fight though as the tower goes down. Juster Hat is in trouble. Bullet Time picks him up. Breckful gets knocked down by Anderson Cooper, and Anderson Cooper is too tanky for anyone to do anything. Moonfall is huge onto 3, and it'll probably be the death knell here. I can't even get my point out as the final inhib goes down to 26-45. And this is going to be the sweep almost undoubtedly from CB Clockwork. There's really nothing that supports can do at this point. They're just kind of waiting for the damage. Forgotten Turtle might go down here, and BK padding his own stats. 3-1-2 on his sub in game. Not really a bad game, all things considered, from the sub, but it just wasn't enough.
Call it a sweep, call it a stomp, whatever you call it a dub. 3-0 for CB Clockwork. They showed up in this game where last week they were kind of getting just pushed off the map. They got their faces put on a t-shirt in our previous week in XLNC Light, but this week they came back with a vengeance and show that they are a force to be reckoned with, especially with Dory K playing support and especially with Anderson Cooper, their sub, saying, look, I can come in here, I can have a very strong effect on the map. Booty Bang and Billy aggressive in every single one of these games. Got to give it up to the guys here from CB Clockwork. They came in ready to play, and they came in and dominated for 3 straight games.
Absolute domination. You call it the dub. I call it the sweep. We're going to have to see what Dunsey and Zephyr call it on the desk. That is it for me for the night, folks, but hang out with the AD and Shellatron. See if you can hear from some of the players here pretty soon.